And welcome to This Is Now. We begin in Washington, where President Trump held a news conference today thanking Elon Musk for his work in the Department of Government Efficiency. The tech billionaire was brought on as a special employee, only allowed to work 130 days a year, and is going back to private industry. Erica Brown reports from the White House.
President Trump presented Elon Musk with a gold key to thank him for his service with the administration.
Elon has worked tirelessly helping lead the most sweeping and consequential government reform program in generations.
Musk may be leaving, but most of his team will stay to continue working on slashing the size of government.
The Doge team will only grow stronger over time. The Doge influence will only grow stronger. It's I liken it to sort of Buddhism. It's like a way of life. So it is permeating throughout the government, and I'm confident that over time we'll see $1 trillion of savings.
Musk's time in government led to the layoffs of tens of thousands of federal workers and came at a cost for his companies. Stock shares for Tesla and SpaceX dropped as protesters and consumers reacted to his efforts.
We find that government's a little nasty on occasion.
The president says he will continue to rely on Musk as a friend and advisor. And as Trump's immigration efforts face legal challenges, his push to deport undocumented migrants just got a temporary boost. Friday, the Supreme Court ruled the Trump administration can, for now, suspend the program, protecting more than 500,000 migrants from Cuba, Nicaragua, Haiti, and Venezuela from deportation.
They've been here for 24 months. They were flown into our country illegally. And the good news is the airplanes travel in two directions.
The Trump administration also announced a shakeup Thursday within the Immigrations and Customs Enforcement Agency in order to speed up the pace of deportations. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
Back here at home, JobCorps centers on Oahu and Maui will stop offering services by the end of next month under changes announced by the Trump administration as part of a nationwide pause in operations at contractor-run centers that offer free vocational training to youth and young adults. U.S. Representative Jill Tokuda calls the decision reckless. She says she plans to fight the move and get the program even more funding. The U.S. Department of Labor says the program isn't meeting its intended outcomes. In our other top story, police are still searching for these suspects in a Makaha shooting that killed a 19-year-old man and wounded 4 others. HPD has not released any suspect descriptions. They say a group parked just past the home on Lahaina Street and confronted the victims on foot just after 9 p.m. Wednesday. A fight broke out between the two groups, and the suspects opened fire.
We just was ready to lay down to go to sleep, and then I was like, oh, how come that sounded like fireworks? And I was like, wait, that sounded weird. That sounded different than fireworks.
It's really at this time, it's important for us to stay calm and not retaliate. You know, that's been kind of, the way to respond, with my community. They just, you take one of ours, we're going to take one of yours. And, that's just not helpful to our community because we're losing our kids to this kind of violence, and it has to stop.
If you have any tips, call Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen. MMA legend BJ Penn, who just 3 years ago ran for governor and got 20,000 votes, was arrested this week. Some of Penn's biggest supporters are asking among those him to get help. Now, if you follow the UFC pioneer on social media, you may be aware of an unfolding family drama. Loved ones and fans have become more concerned about Penn after a series of social media posts showing erratic and unusual behavior. That behavior led to Penn being arrested twice over Memorial Day weekend for alleged domestic abuse against his mother. A mental health specialist tells us this could be linked to a traumatic brain injury. Our Ben Gutierrez has more on that and a message from Penn's mother.
Why am I getting arrested? Let's talk downstairs. You guys just want to get me out of the house, right?
BJ Penn posted this Instagram video of police officers getting him out of bed and placing him under arrest. The video includes claims that relatives are trying to put him behind bars to get his fortune.
When you start saying I own nothing, you're going to get into a big problem.
An earlier video shows Penn arguing with his mother, claiming that she's an imposter.
Even if you're my mom and you walk inside there, even if you really were my... Okay, I'm just going to tell you, even if you really were my mom, you got to be scared of that. Even if you really were my mom, to say that I own nothing is going to screw you guys bad.
According to Penn's mother, Hilo businesswoman Lorraine Shin, he's suffering from Capgras delusional syndrome. In a request for a temporary restraining order filed Tuesday morning, Shin says Penn has been using extreme psychological abuse toward me, that I am not Lorraine Shin, I killed his family and have taken over his mother's identity, and he wants me to be removed from his home.
Put yourself into the person's shoes who has this syndrome where you go home and you think that your wife is an imposter, that this is not really your wife. Or your child is not really your child.
Forensic psychologist Marvin Ackland says Capgras delusional syndrome is a very rare condition, something he's seen only twice during his 40 years in practice.
It's associated with a belief that there's something terribly wrong going on here, in which the person oftentimes responds to it with hostility, fear and hostility.
Ackland says the syndrome is related to brain damage of some form, such as dementia or Parkinson's.
Oh, that one hurt him too.
But it could also stem from his 12-year career as a professional MMA fighter.
It's certainly possible that it could be due to traumatic brain injury.
In the TRO request, Shin also describes what's happening in another of Penn's Instagram posts. She says her mail was missing from her mailbox, and when she found the mail in the back seat of a car that Penn's friend had rented, he blinded her with a flashlight to keep her from calling police. Penn filed his own TRO request against his mother Tuesday afternoon, writing that he barricades his door when he is home and that he needs to get his bank account numbers, his car, and his phone back, and that she took everything. Penn's fans have responded to the posts with concern, saying things like, "Your poor mother, this is heartbreaking," and "That's your mom, man, take a pause." Lorraine Shin declined to be interviewed but told us, "I love my son. I'm here to protect and help him. We need to pray for him and do whatever's necessary, what we can for him, as he suffers from Capgras delusional syndrome."
It's a very alarming, upsetting, unnerving, is threatening.
And that was Ben Gutierrez reporting. Penn posted bail, but prosecutors say he failed to appear in court Tuesday. A judge has issued a bench warrant for his arrest. Meanwhile, another judge granted his mother's TRO against him. We tried calling Penn for comment, and those calls have not been returned. Aloha Stadium will not be imploded. It will be taken apart piece by piece, and that will likely begin in August. The developer chosen to replace the stadium has applied for a permit from the city to begin the 10-month process of dismantling the 50-year-old structure late this summer. As of now, the plan is to leave the concrete foundations under the north and south end zones to be used in the new stadium. All this was discussed at a meeting of the Stadium Authority yesterday.
The public is getting a little excited about the demolition. They want to know, are we going to blow it up or are we going to blow it up?
Don't blow it up. They looked at implosion.
Yeah.
It was too complicated because it's primarily a steel structure. Yeah. They just decided to go forward with
it to cost about $20 million. The goal is to open the new stadium before the 2028 UH football season. Well, new pictures show Hokulea and Hikianalia crew members training for their upcoming Moana Nui Akea voyage around the Pacific. The canoes have been docked in Hilo for the past week, but are now set to depart for Tahiti on either Sunday or Monday, pending good weather. Crew members say the journey will take about 3 weeks with a stop on Raiatea Island, a sacred voyaging and cultural center. The canoes will spend about 1 month in French Polynesia.
Aloha. On this Friday, our weather remains very calm, but we are tracking Tropical Storm Alvin, not expected to be a player in our weather. It's going to hit probably Baja, Mexico as a remnant low. Now, for us, we've got some scattered showers this morning for a handful of windward spots. Most leeward skies remain fairly dry. Now, the winds are slow at the moment, but as the day progresses, we'll see those winds pick up. It's going to be a breezy day today. In fact, those winds will remain breezy going into the weekend.
Adding to the fleet, what this new aircraft will mean for Mokulele's commitment to neighbor island communities like Kalaupapa.
And a near $50 million renovation project begins at Maui's Kahului Airport. Scenes from the groundbreaking and the upgrades on the way. Welcome back. Let's give you a live look at Washington Place, where Governor Green is signing a number of bills today. The new laws are related to education, meals for students, and transportation. The governor is joined by state lawmakers, and we'll have their remarks later this evening in our newscasts online at hawaiinewsnow.com. After a series of flight delays and reliability issues, Mokulele Airlines is trying to make things right, and they're starting with a powerful gesture, blessing 2 planes in Kalaupapa, Molokai. Casey Lunn takes us to today's ceremony.
And the ceremony here in Kalaupapa wasn't just about a plane, but a promise and a new chapter for Mokulele Airlines, who's had their share of turbulence, especially at the start of 2025. But they're committing to the people in rural communities like Molokai that they'll be here for the long haul. And for this carrier, that's a literal lifeline for many in this community, they're grateful. In a place as sacred as Kalaupapa, where isolation once meant exile, Mokulele Airlines is promising connection.
It represents our commitment to the community. It's a significant improvement, and it's part of our plan to basically transform where we were to where we're going. And it's a wonderful airplane.
Kalaupapa is still home to 7 remaining patients who once suffered from Hansen's disease, many of whom were exiled here under now unthinkable conditions. None of us can truly understand what they've been through, what they've endured. But Mokulele says this place deserves connection and care.
This is such a special place to be able to bless these aircrafts and hopefully bring increased reliability and dependability to our communities. It's something that we all want as residents and as, you know, the business side of it.
The airline showcased 2 aircraft, one brand new, the other completely refurbished.
One that represents our history and one that represents our future. And these airplanes are really a representation of our commitment and our investment in the communities.
And as those flights have been grounded today, and a lot of our constituents are trying to come into Honolulu, that's super unfortunate.
We were interviewing Senator Linda Quaid at the state capitol in January when she learned the airline had grounded all their aircraft over maintenance concerns. She says since then, she's noticed a real improvement.
I fly Mokulele 2, 3, 4 times a week. You know, they have their good days. Lately, they've been having actually a lot of good days. I think they're running pretty smooth. You know, and I do the Kalaupapa route a lot, the morning flights on Mondays. They have been actually going earlier. If everybody's there, they're moving out early.
We are operating at a 98% completion, and it's one of our best months in many, many years. And that's the trend that we want to continue.
But here in Kalaupapa, the moment wasn't about tech or timelines. It was about trust. A recommitment to service for Hawaii with aloha and dependability. This new aircraft has already been servicing communities Lanai, Molokai, as well as Waimea on the Big Island. Reporting in Kalaupapa, I'm Casey Lund for Hawaii News Now.
Thank you, Casey. Well, some welcome news. If you fly through Kahului, construction has started on a new TSA checkpoint at the airport. The $46 million project looks to reduce how long you'll wait with 6 screening lanes and new 2-story security screening checkpoint building at the south end of the ticket lobby. It's expected to be ready late next year. Just ahead, a new spelling bee champion has been crowned. Meet the Texas teenager who sounded out his way to victory. Let's give you a live look from our tower cam on this Aloha Friday, the full weekend forecast after the break.
Alert Weather with Guy Huggy.
How's it on this Friday? As we head into the weekend, you can expect some fairly calm conditions. It is going to be breezy at times, but we don't have any significant rainfall. Now, far away, over 3,000 miles away, about 3,000 miles away, is Tropical Storm Alvin. It's not expected to impact our weather in any way, shape, or form. However, it's going to move to the north. It could bring a fair bit of rain to Baja California, maybe even mainland Mexico. And it looks like the storm has peaked in intensity at the last check. The winds are running about 50 miles an hour. Again, it will not impact our weather. We will have breezy trade winds picking up today, and they're pushing in some showers to a handful of windward spots this morning, but the showers are not widespread. Most leeward sides will remain mostly dry through the weekend, and those winds running slow at the moment, but as the day progresses, they'll pick up speed. In fact, we're thinking they'll be running at breezy levels by this afternoon, and they'll hold at breezy levels for the next several days. So this we're looking at another gorgeous day, right? A few showers to start, lots of sunshine by the afternoon, high temperatures climbing into the upper 80s. Humidity not an issue because those winds will be blowing at 15 to 20, although over on the Kona side of Hawaii Island, those light winds means it's going to be sticky, and they will have some fog in those neighborhoods. Now, 3 to 5 on the way down, 2 to 4 on the north shore on the west side. But keep in mind, with those trade winds, conditions will be very good today. 3 to 5 in town, that swell is on the way down as well, but we are expecting another northwest swell picking up by tomorrow. That swell will be above average. Now, I'll take a look at the latest rain forecast models, and you can see we are going to see these passing windward and Mauka showers from time to time, but no significant rain expected for the next several days. So again, breezy trade winds pick up today with lots of sunshine. We'll probably see a few more clouds tomorrow, but not much in the way of rainfall. There will be those windward and Mauka showers from time to time, mainly in the early morning and overnight hours. And because the winds will turn easterly, there's a chance for the Big Island fog to come moving up the island chain as well. So expect that. And then those winds will remain firm all the way into the middle of next week.
Thank you very much, Guy. Well, a 13-year-old from Texas swept this year's Scripps National Spelling Bee, but the moment almost didn't happen with a flub late in the game. Jared Hill reports.
In the finals for the 100th Scripps National Spelling Bee.
Now, let's all of us take a deep breath.
A search for calm and clarity.
And
that did not help at all.
Before Faison Zaki breezed through his winning word.
ECLAIRCISSEMENT. That is correct.
The 13-year-old dropping to his knees after perfectly working his way through a word that, ironically, means a clearing up of something obscure.
Honestly, I was just ready to get it over with. I definitely wasn't expecting this, though.
The comeback, a year in the making following a second-place finish last year, almost didn't happen.
Kamalina.
K-A-M... Oh, okay, wait. Let me think. Oh.
Jumping the gun on his second-to-last word.
Oh, shoot, okay.
Stung with the spelling bug early, he's been competing since he was just 7 years old. This time, besting 243 contestants. Among the 9 finalists, an 11-year-old whose cool demeanor charmed the crowd.
This is surprising.
And a 14-year-old taking his last shot at the title.
Does this word come from English Muhlenbergia, which is a genus?
Faison is just the 5th runner-up to return and win, taking home $52,000. His plan?
We're not the richest, but we're not the poorest, so I want to give back to the people who might not be as fortunate as me.
Donate a large portion to charity. Jared Hill, CBS News.
And Iolani's 7th grader Kira Lau was Hawaii's representative at the spelling bee. The 13-year-old breezed through the first 2 rounds, but was eliminated during the round 3 written test. She finished tied for 100th. We'll take a look at the newest guardians for Oahu's shores. These are the latest recruits to Honolulu Ocean Safety. The 10 graduates were recognized yesterday after they completed the rigorous training and instruction to become lifeguards. They also mastered ocean rescue techniques, including the use of rescue tubes and boards in various surf conditions.
The work you're about to do, as lifeguards is probably nothing more noble than really when you think about it. You're going to be in the business of saving lives. And whether you do that in a parking lot or whether you do it someday out in some horrific storm or whatever, or ocean, or somebody who's deeply in trouble, I can't think of anything more noble or purposeful than doing that.
If you want to be a lifeguard, you can sign up for the next class beginning June 20th. Well, a Street Fighter big screen reboot may be on its way, and Jason Momoa could have a starring role. The latest from Hollywood still to come. Welcome back. An iconic video game is getting rebooted as a movie, and with Jason Momoa in talks to sign on, fans are already speculating who he'll play.
Round one, fight! Hadouken!
The arcade classic Street Fighter is once again attempting to find box office success. Its silver screen debut in 1994 with Jean-Claude Van Damme received poor reviews from fans and critics, while an unrelated sequel in 2009 also flopped. Now, Momoa is reportedly in conversations to join the game's latest shot at live action. Fans say he'd make a great Blanka, a beastly green character who can generate electricity. No word yet on when production begins, and we'll see if he's able to sign on. It would be very cool to see Jason Momoa as Blanka.
Aloha! My family and I, we own a coffee shop. I'm in the back with flour all over my face, baking pastries. I love working at the coffee shop. Love Island, I'm coming!
Well, a Hawaii woman is looking for love on a new season of a competitive dating series. Belle A. Santos Walker is one of 10 cast members on season 7, which follows a group of singles searching for love, shooting at a villa in Fiji. The 22-year-old swimsuit model went to Hawaii Pacific University. Love Island USA premieres next Tuesday on Peacock. Well, in Hamilton, King George sang "You'll Be Back," and it seems he was right. The original cast of the hit musical is reuniting to perform at the Tony Awards next week. The reunion marks 10 years since Hamilton took Broadway by storm. The 78th annual Tony Awards, hosted by Cynthia Erivo, will be aired live on Sunday, June 8th at 8 p.m. Eastern on KGMB. Well, get this. The Big Cat Sanctuary in the UK is celebrating a tiny new arrival. This snow leopard cub, born to Layla, one of their endangered residents, nicknamed Little Lady, the healthy female was born May 10th and weighed just 630 grams at her first checkup. How adorable, right? Staff says she is now thriving and nursing well, and the cub marks major success in the sanctuary's conservation efforts for the vulnerable species. There are only a few thousand snow leopards left in the wild, And snow leopards, some fun facts here, excellent jumpers, able to leap 6 times their body length, and are well adapted to the harsh, high-altitude environment of Central Asia. And despite their large size, they are surprisingly gentle and rarely harm humans. And you can watch that kind of video all day. Just a precious snow leopard cub born at an England zoo, an ancient sanctuary. Let's give you a look outside right now on this Aloha Friday from our tower cam. The weekend is nearly here. See you soon at First at 4.